Hello, Brian here, coming to you from an undisclosed bunker area. No, just kidding. This is just a place that I try to get out of my garage and some random places. I live in Dallas, Texas, and it is a way overpopulated, overly congested, and just pretty much becoming a place, probably not the best place to live for some folks. But I'm here and I'm riding my motorcycle in this area, and there's a lot of cars and a lot of traffic, and just want to share. I don't have riding videos like some people do, where they have a POV camera mounted in their helmet or something, or on their chest. I used to be able to do that. I don't have the video means equipment to do that. Plus two, it's just way overcrowded here in Dallas. As I mentioned, I don't have any really cool places, scenic places to ride. So you'll just have to overlook that I'm pretty much 99% of the time going to be stationary and just talking about the bike, with the bike being in front of the camera. So I hope you find some meaning and some content out of this, and we'll go from there. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I've got a channel, Getting Through Life, and it has a lot of different content on it. I have a lot of interests: reptiles, cars, e-bike, guns, knives, all kinds of things. So I'm glad you tuned in for this section of my video on this 2020 Ducati Monster 821. And it's going to deal with, is this a good bike for beginners? So I'm going to try not to make the video too long. My background, this is going to be video number 4. I have talked about some of my experience. I've been riding since the mid 1970s, and I've worked at 4 or 5 different serious high-end motorcycle dealerships, or high output, with a lot of bikes being sold. And I even worked at Ducati Dallas here at Ducati AMS in Dallas, and so I learned a lot about Ducatis. But so I have close to 40 years experience riding all kinds of dirt, street bikes, from small Ninja 300, DRZ 350, small dirt bikes up to 450s, all the way up to 1000cc sport bikes. So with that mentioned, I think I can honestly, I can sit there and have a good conversation about why this is going to not be a great beginner motorcycle. Now, I know there are different versions of this, and this has been out since when I started working at AMS Ducati, and I'm becoming more familiar with some of these monster motorcycles. That was in early 2000s, and so I know there's different variations of this motorcycle. So I know some of the early monsters were a lot more tame. I would consider this 821 in 2020 not very tame and not a good beginner motorcycle. There's a lot better beginner motorcycles out there, and I'm just going to name a couple of them. There's probably 10 or 12 of them if you really dove into it. Ninja 300 is a great beginner bike. I mean, a beginner bike. Ninja 400 and MT-07. There's likely some newer ones from Kawasaki that I'm not mentioning right this minute. Some smaller, at Honda, that would be great beginner bikes. And the reason why those are better beginner bikes is they're very tame. They feel lighter weight. They're easier to maneuver. The power is way less. And probably, more affordable on insurance too, comes into the equation. There's just lots of variables, but for me, from riding a lot of different bikes and now riding this one, I would not stick my wife, or a girl related friend that I knew, or one of my male friends that has no mechanical motorcycle experience, on this bike, and say, and teach them and say, have at it, go out and ride, and hopefully you don't crash or get hit by a car. This bike's just the weight of it is more up top. There is a lot of heat on this motorcycle, as I've talked about in previous videos. The riding position is just a little funky. This bike is very, very mechanical. You feel everything. It's kind of rough. The gear shifts are not just silky smooth. You know, if you're coming down from speed and you don't shift down as you're slowing down and you end up at a stoplight in third gear, you know, and then the light turns green and you got to quickly shift down to get to first. Just not the smoothest of operation. And so then again, and I feel this bike has quite a bit of power in sport mode. You know, cruising at 30 and you click down to first or second gear and you hammer it up to 100. It is fast. I'm going to be doing, hopefully, maybe if I can get myself to do it. I have a draggy GPS device, and I want to draggy this, but there's just really no suitable place in Dallas, Texas, to do this safely. And it's still like 95 degrees during the day, 96, and it's so hot with the humidity. So it's hard to get motivated to get out and do things when it's this hot, and a bike that kind of rides hot. And it just makes you kind of feel a little miserable after you've been riding it stop and go in the city traffic. But it's a great motorcycle. I would say, you know, if you're new to motorcycles or you want to get new into this and you just like the Italian bike and you're a Ducati fan, if you're a man, or you could be a woman, I'm not going to just push that to the side, a man or a woman, and you're more adventurous and you have kind of experience doing dangerous things, you know, or things that are the potential to, you know, to get hurt. You know, say you're a woman and you're a seasoned hardcore soccer player or skydiver or something, and you're a male too, you know, and you can jump into things like this, then I would say you're new to it. Then maybe you could jump onto an 821. You know, this particular bike. Now, I'm not mentioning earlier monsters that were smaller, more tame, easier to ride. This is just this iteration of this motorcycle that those people could get on this and learn. I don't think it's the best decision. There's just a lot smoother bikes out there that are just so much easier to operate and ride smoother, and you don't have to, you know, they'll run at a lower RPM and you can cruise around on them. They don't put out as much heat. They're probably just a little bit more nimble feeling and a little bit lighter weight between your legs. And that's why I mentioned that this is probably not the best beginner motorcycle. You know, if you've been riding, you know, and you had a Ninja 400 or you've had a CB 500 or something, and then you want to step up and you're still pretty new, then maybe that's a better opportunity for you to get into a bike like this. But I wanted to say, I mean, I'm really surprised at how quick this bike is. I mean, it's not a 1200 size bike or an 1100, you know, super sport bike, or you know, Panigale or the V4, you know, 200 horsepower Ducati, which are just extremely fast. But it is very, very quick, and I mean, speed is what kills. And I'm just going to, you know, be upfront. Speed is what kills when you outride your brakes. No matter how good of brakes you have and how good a rider you are, if you're going too fast and you can't stop because someone pulls out in front of you or someone pulls into your lane and runs you into a curb, and then you flip off the bike, there's just nothing you can do to recoup that. So speed is very, very harmful. So me as an adult, I ride this bike with a lot more grown-upness now, because I started riding in my 20s when I had sport bikes that, you know, were really, really fast and quick and can get you in trouble really, really fast. So now hopefully I've adopted a much better policy of my riding. So you can see that sometimes I don't ride in full protective gear because I'm just cruising around. You have a lot more time to react to somebody when you're going 50 miles an hour than when you're doing 90 under hard acceleration. You have more time to stop. You have a little bit more time to think and process, and then you're just not going as fast. And so with that said, I'm really big now into motorcycle safety, and a lot of it comes down to you as the rider, because you can't control what the other person's doing. And I've had a couple of really tragic bad accidents 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I've had some bad accidents that that I could have died. And again, I'm still riding. But thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you found this informative. If you did find it informative, just do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos of mine when they come out, then hit the notification bell. You know, I know this is all kind of complicated if you're not a big YouTube person, but that'll help so you can see future videos that I put out. But other than that, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you spending some time with me, and I'm going to wrap this video up. Until the next one, I will see you then, okay? Bye-bye.